Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Universe Mode. We are live here for a Monday Night Raw. Welcome, everybody. I am Mr. Rob, and we are ready to get started with another show as we continue to build towards Money in the Bank. I do apologize for not uploading yesterday. I felt a little bit under the weather the past couple of days. Still feel a little sick right now, but I want to get this one going as we are live here in Kansas City, Kansas, continuing to build for Money in the Bank. So let's take a look at what's on the show tonight. First off, it's going to be Akira Tozawa and R-Truth teaming up to face the Raw Tag Team Champions in the Dirty Dogs. Then we're going to see Riddle go one-on-one against Veer Mahan. T-Bar gets a big time clash versus Omos. And then Alpha Academy will go up against Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar, who are going to team up. Then it's Money in the Bank qualifier time. Nikki ASH will battle Alexa Bliss. Kevin Owens will battle Ciampa. And the main event, Becky Lynch and Doudrop will go one-on-one. The Dirty Dogs, the champs, get the win over Akira Tozawa and R-Truth. Riddle picks up a big win over Veer. And then Omos will get the win over T-Bar. And the new team of Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar get a tag team victory. Next up, Nikki versus Alexa. Before we get to our clashes, looks like the Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair wants to make her way to the ring. She has something she has to say before these qualifiers get underway. So let's see what the Raw Women's Champion has on her mind. What's good, Kansas City? Man, it's so great to be back here in Kansas. And I just want to come out here before the women's qualifiers start and just wish all the competitors good luck. I'm excited to watch a good rest of the night of action and see who emerges victorious, and we'll be heading to Las Vegas. Well, we know that music. It can't be. It is. Bayley back in the WWE live here on Raw. What a surprise this is. Bayley, for the first time in almost a year, is back in the WWE here live on Raw. She's been out with a torn ACL, but it seems like she's back. The former multi-time women's champion held the SmackDown Women's Championship for over a year just a couple of years ago, and she's back here. And if you remember, she has some unfinished business with Bianca Belair. So Bayley, now on Raw, makes her way to the ring. What a surprise here in Kansas City. It's great to see the role model back in WWE. Glad she's made a full recovery. And she has interrupted the Raw Women's Champion. So we'll have to figure out what is on Bayley's mind. Welcome back. Hello, Bianca. What's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. Ding dong, hello. Don't you know who I am? I'm the person you were supposed to face at Money in the Bank last year. But unfortunately, a torn ACL kept me out for a year. And I think it's time, 1 year in the making, I get the match that I was supposed to have. And let's run it back to what it was supposed to be. I challenge you to a submissions match at Money in the Bank for the Raw Women's Championship. Well, the challenge has been laid to the champ. Bayley wants Bianca Belair in a submissions match at Money in the Bank. Well, very explosive start to the show. Very surprising. But now it's time to start to figure out who is going to be in the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Here comes the first qualifier for that match. Making her way to the ring first, Nikki ASH has had a very tumultuous past couple of months. Her tag team partner, Doudrop, their tag team did not work out. They have gone their separate ways. Doudrop actually attacked Nikki ASH a couple weeks ago. And Nikki's team, though, was victorious on an episode of Raw. Her and Bianca Belair teamed up to beat Doudrop and Carmella. So Nikki, though, has lost her tag team partner. Looks like she's trying to get back in the good graces of the WWE Universe and be the superhero that she wants to be. It's not been easy so far as they haven't fully responded back to Nikki ASH, but she has a tough task in front of her tonight in terms of who could be the villain of the Raw Women's Division. Her name is Alexa Bliss, who haven't seen frequently in recent times. She returned a couple of months ago and lost a Raw Women's Championship Open Challenge to Bianca Belair, and ever since then Alexa's been kind of quiet, but has popped her face up here again and wants a shot in the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Alexa Bliss, a multi-time Women's Champion multi-time Women's Tag Team Champion with none other than Nikki ASH in the ring. So Alexa Bliss has the credentials. She has that evil side that you don't want to mess with. So all she needs is a win here tonight, and Alexa Bliss could be a major player at Money in the Bank. But she's got to go through Nikki ASH first, as we'll figure out who will be in the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Starting to fill out the field, as it'll be Nikki ASH versus Alexa Bliss to kick off the qualifiers. And we are underway here in Kansas City. So both of them will meet in the center of the ring. There's a lot of history between these two. We talked about it. Former tag team partners, multi-time Women's Tag Team Championships together. At one point, best friends. And they have gone their separate ways. And these two honestly could not have gone any farther separate ways. Nikki ASH has embraced her superhero side of things. As she likes to say, wants to be a superhero role model for the kids. While Alexa Bliss, on the other hand, has gone to the dark side, to say the least. We've seen Alexa do plenty of supernatural things and embrace this inner, darker character that she has started to develop, as has led her to this point. And she looks to take it to Nikki ASH, but who will be? There's no friendships in this matchup. It is all about qualifying for the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, as Nikki ASH wants to get it done here. She goes for a cover, but Alexa will kick out quickly. For the women's field, there will be 6 spots in that match. 3 women from Raw and 3 women from SmackDown will qualify. And what we're hearing is that every single spot will be a qualifying match. Nobody's going to get a guaranteed spot. No favoritism on the women's side of things. If you want to get in the match, you have to win. And we'll crown the first participant here as Alexa Bliss working away on Nikki. She looks to just pound Nikki into the mat. Just straight up knee or feet to the sternum of the former Raw Women's Champion. While Alexa Bliss, former multi-time Raw and Women's Championship. Actually the first woman to ever hold both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships. So Alexa Bliss has been very successful in her career. And the other thing about these two women is these two have actually both won Money in the Bank. Alexa Bliss won Money in the Bank back in 2018, while Nikki ASH won Money in the Bank just a year ago. So both of them know what it takes to climb the ladder, but unfortunately for one of them, they will not be in that match. You have to win it here tonight, as Alexa Bliss been pretty dominant so far in the early going, but Nikki ASH, a quick kick to the skull, will look to get back in this one, as she now has Alexa ground on the mat. Now just straight right hands to the face. Nikki says she's a superhero, but we've seen a mean streak of her own. We've seen Nikki flirt with the dark side. She says that she will not go that way anymore ever since the tag team with Doudrop did not look out. Nikki wants to get back in the good gracious of the WWE Universe. And like I said earlier, hasn't been an easy turn. There's still plenty of resentment there for Nikki and who she is, but she's determined to win the good gracious that led her to a Raw Women's Championship in the first place. And back to her feet, though. Quick clothesline knocks Alexa right back off. So Nikki looks to take control of this contest. These two superstars know each other pretty well. Now a submission attempt here on Alexa. Nikki trying to get Bliss to tap out. A submission will send you to Las Vegas, but Alexa no intentions to tap out yet. She will power out. Now a kick to the midsection. More kicks and punches. Backs up Nikki and drops her with another right hand. Alexa looking to regain momentum. I think she might have done enough with that right. She looks to drag Nikki away from the ropes. And here's textbook Bliss offense. Knees and knees again. And Nikki in all sorts of trouble. Alexa going to try to go for the pin here. Thinks she's done enough. Gets 2. And Nikki will kick out. But Alexa in firm control of this contest. Nikki in a lot of trouble here. As Bliss gets Nikki back to her feet. Kick to the midsection. And there's that spike DDT. Quickly back to her feet and quickly into the cover. Bliss to qualify for Money in the Bank, and she will. Gets the 3 counts on Nikki. And Alexa Bliss is your first competitor in Money in the Bank. And that's a scary competitor to have in that match. Bliss, somebody who is not afraid to get dark, and she will have all the toys at her disposal in that she looks to make Money in the Bank Alexa Bliss's playground, as she qualifies for the ladder match. We're going to switch gears now to the men's side of things, where we have another qualifying match, and this is a big one. 2 superstars who could very well win the Money in the Bank ladder match if they can get to it, but they got to go through each other first. And the first superstar making his way to the ring is Kevin Owens, who's had quite a past couple of months in his own right. Hasn't found many wins. Instead, Kevin Owens, you could say, has been doing a lot of favors for his best friend in Seth freaking Rollins, whether it is taking on his rivals or teaming up with Rollins. Owens has been in the mix with the main event stars, but just hasn't been able to get a win. Instead, been asked to maybe soften them up for Seth, or just, trying to get a win in his own right. Hasn't been very successful. But Kevin Owens continues to say that Seth Rollins is his best friend. As we'll have to see, though, how much longer. We've seen them go back and forth. But Owens gets in it for himself tonight as he gets a shot to qualify for Money in the Bank. He's got to go up against somebody who's been on a very impressive streak the past couple of months since coming up to Monday Night Raw. It is Ciampa who makes his way to the ring at the Black Heart, the former heart and soul of NXT. And he hasn't skipped a beat since joining the Raw roster. Ciampa has been on quite a bit of a roll. I don't think he's lost a match since coming up to Monday Night Raw. He did lose at Backlash in that six-pack challenge for the United States Championship, but he did not eat the pin in that matchup. But we've seen Ciampa pick up victories, whether it be Dolph Ziggler or Robert Roode, who are now the Raw Tag Team Champions. Ciampa's been very, very impressive, and I think adding his name to Money in the Bank, Ciampa could be the dark horse favorite in that match if he were to qualify. But Ciampa has got a tough task in front of him, arguably his biggest match on a Monday Night Raw, and that's going up against Kevin Owens, a former Universal Champion. As Ciampa makes the slow walk to the ring, no one will survive, as he likes to say. And we'll have to see if that holds true tonight with the mask in tow. Ciampa, former NXT champion, two-time NXT champion, that is, former NXT Tag Team champion. Still looking for his first championship on the main roster, and Money in the Bank would be an easy way to do that. But he's got to get through that man right there. Is Kevin Owens versus Ciampa. Winner moves on in Money in the Bank. And here we go. We're live with this action as Kevin Owens looks to get the upper hand early, takes down Ciampa, and quick stomps to the chest. Kevin Owens looking for a fast start, looking for a win, as we've said. Hasn't picked up many wins. Been doing a lot of dirty work for Seth freaking Rollins. Had a match last week against Bobby Lashley, was unsuccessful in that matchup. And if you remember, Seth Rollins was not at ringside for that matchup. Rollins asked Owens to have that match for him. Rollins actually nominated Kevin Owens that day for that matchup against Bobby Lashley. Owens was unsuccessful. And if you keep an eye out here, Owens, now a chance for Kevin Owens to go at it and win something for himself. And Seth freaking Rollins is nowhere to be seen. We're hearing that Seth isn't even in the building tonight. So Seth not at ringside for his best friend's big time contest. You have to wonder, is this a one-sided relationship? Kevin and Seth will tell you no. They said that they had their differences in the past, but they still remain friends. But it's just something to worth pointing out that Seth is not at ringside for Kevin. But Kevin with a nice start. Snake Eyes there to Ciampa. Now will hit the ropes and then goes for the cannonball. Senton. Or the senton, excuse me, but Ciampa does get the knees up. Looks to get back in this contest, but a big-time clothesline by Kevin Owens there. And now has a hold of Ciampa, going to pick him up, and there's a nice fall-away slam. Owens looking very impressive here in the early going. A win would move him to Money in the Bank and would be, Money in the Bank would do something for Kevin's career. As Kevin has been the top of the mountain once, a former Universal Champion, way back in the day, the second ever Universal Champion, that is. It's been a long time since he's been at the top of the World Championship mountain, though, for Kevin. He would love to get back there, and I think Kevin Owens with a Money in the Bank briefcase would be just that, as now he looks to punch his ticket, gets two, but Ciampa does kick out at two, and this match will continue. As Owens hits the ropes, now hits that senton onto the sternum of Ciampa, and Ciampa's in a lot of trouble here. He's taking a lot of offense here in the early going. This one's been all Kevin. Now just more strikes, double underhooks, and plant some of the DDT into the mat. Ciampa in a lot of trouble here, as Owens now looking to continue to apply the pressure. And you can tell maybe this is a sense of, urgency, a must-win, you could say, for Kevin Owens in his career. There's another right hand that drops Ciampa, and you're kind of seeing that on display. Maybe a little bit of desperation, you could even say, for the prize fighters. There goes. Ciampa goes up and over. Owens looking to get back his career on track ever since WrestleMania, where he lost to Stone Cold Steve Austin in the main event of Night 1. Now Owens, though, looks very good in the early part of this contest, looking to drag Ciampa away from the ropes. Maybe going to try to go for a cover here. He will. Shoots the half. Has the pressure on the shoulders. Gets 1, 2. But Ciampa will kick out at 2. And will stay alive in this contest. But Ciampa's got to start to fight his way back in this one. It's been all Kevin Owens here in the early going. What does the 2-time NXT champion have in mind? As he looks to catch the boot of Kevin. That could be the opening that Ciampa needs. Now, neckbreaker attempt there on Kevin does connect. Now Ciampa looking to get back in this contest, stalking Owens, waits for him to get back to his feet, kicked in the midsection, and knees to the back. Nice move there by Ciampa. Very strong display of power there by the Blackheart as he takes Owens and drives him into the mat, looking to get some offense in, and goes for the cover here, pretty close to the ropes as he gets 1, 2, and Kevin will kick out. And Ciampa needs to do a little bit more damage to Kevin. We've seen Kevin show plenty of resiliency in his career as he quickly gets back to his feet. Both superstars thought of the same thing, and now Owens gets the boots and thinking for that package bomb. Instead, Ciampa will counter with a Hurricane Rana. Takes down Owens, now gets him back to his feet. Kick to the midsection. Is he thinking he's going to go for here? Fairy tale ending. Yes, he has the fairy tale ending on Kevin. That could be enough. Ciampa to go to Money in the Bank. It's 2, but Kevin will kick out at 2. Well, Ciampa hit the fairy tale ending, but that's that resiliency we were just touching on Kevin Owens. He's known to take a lot of punishment and continue going, so Ciampa will have to figure out what is next in this contest. But he has Kevin on the back foot. Ciampa starting to get back into this contest from behind. Has Owens in the corner and hits an inverted DDT. And that'll take down Owens. And now Ciampa maybe signaling towards the end. Maybe we'll see what Ciampa has in mind. He just rains down lefts across the skull of Kevin. We've said Ciampa never won. He hasn't won a main roster championship since being up on Monday Night Raw. Had a chance at the United States Championship at Backlash back in May. Unsuccessful that night, but Money in the Bank would almost guarantee that Ciampa is going to win a championship here on the main roster. But he's got to continue the fight on Kevin, and Kevin hits a nice DDT. Nice maneuver there by Kevin, the veteran, getting back in this contest now, looking to apply more pressure on Ciampa. As Owens could be lining up Ciampa here. Is he thinking that stunner? He does with a kick to the midsection and does. He gets the stunner on Ciampa. Now Owens into the cover, gets 2, but no, Ciampa kicks out at 2. Owens can't believe it. Ciampa just kicked out of the stunner. And we talked about Owens' resiliency earlier. How about Ciampa? Took the best shot from Kevin and continues to stay alive in this contest. And now Owens, maybe a little bit more of that desperation, continuing to try to apply the pressure on Ciampa. Looks to get him back to his feet, but he'll take out the leg. Now Ciampa gets him back to his feet. Kick to the midsection. Going to maybe go for it again. He's going to get him up on his shoulders. There's more knees to the back. Into the cover. Owens in a lot of trouble here and a lot of pain. Gets 2, but no, he gets that right shoulder up. And this match continues, but Ciampa could be stalking his prey. Looks to continue to work away on Kevin. More hands, this time right hands across the face of Owens. And Ciampa maybe just softening him up for another fairy tale ending, but Owens will pick the leg and hit him with a sweep. And now Owens lining up Ciampa, could be going for a second stunner. No kick to the midsection. No, he's not going for the stunner. Instead, Owens hits a fairy tale ending. Takes a page out of Ciampa's book, but Owens had him too close to the ropes. That's what happens, I guess, when you steal your opponent's move. But Owens just hit Ciampa with his own move. Now going to go for the pin again. Gets 1, gets 2. But no, Ciampa at the last second gets the shoulder up. Owens, in a little bit of disbelief, hit Ciampa with his own shot and couldn't come away victorious. But Owens still has control of this contest. More strikes. This time Ciampa will counter. What a match this has been on Raw. A very big-time qualifier match. Both these superstars proving that both of them deserve to be in Money in the Bank, but only one will be able to punch their ticket. We already know that Theory will be in it from Raw. As Owens hits the ropes again. Another senton attempt. As Kevin now looking to celebrate. Theory was named into the match thanks to some persuasion and thanks to maybe a little bit of pull from Mr. McMahon. We also saw Ezekiel qualify last week. as those two are the ones that are representing Raw, as now Owens continues to stomp away on Ciampa. Now gets him back to his feet. No, Ciampa will pick the leg. This one's been very back and forth. You've seen the best shot from both competitors. You've even seen Owens use the best shot of his competitor against him. The Ciampa backs up Owens. More strikes. Owens turns around. Now for the backstabber. More knees to the back. We've seen Ciampa go to that well a couple of times. Now gets Owens back to his feet. Right hand shot. Throw him into the far corner. As the match starting to hang in the balance. This is definitely deep water. Ciampa again from the turnbuckle, going to hit that inverted DDT. Going to quickly go for the cover. Smart idea here. Gets one, gets two, and gets three. The inverted DDT. Ciampa quickly went into the cover and is able to pick up the victory over Kevin Owens. A big back and forth contest. And it was that inverted DDT that did it in. That backstabber beforehand. A couple more shots to the back. I think Owens just had too much damage done. And Ciampa will join a very impressive field in Money in the Bank and could potentially be the dark horse for that matchup. Well, Kevin Owens might have to go back to the drawing board, but a big-time win for Ciampa here tonight. Well, now time for our main event, the third qualifier of the night. Back on the women's side of things, and making her way to the ring is Becky Lynch, who could be the favorite if she's able to get through her competitor here tonight. Becky Lynch never won Money in the Bank, instead has been on the other side of the briefcase. She's been cashed on in the past, so you'd like to see Becky Lynch would like to have a little bit of a role reversal, as Lynch hasn't been very impressive since WrestleMania. Lost her Raw Women's Championship to Bianca Belair at WrestleMania in a classic encounter, and was unable to win it back at Backlash just a month ago. So Becky Lynch back to the drawing board, and a win at Money in the Bank would get her right back into the thick of things. But she's got to go up against a very impressive competitor in Doudrop, who has looked to reestablish that mean streak in the past couple of weeks. You've seen her, and like we talked about earlier, her and Nikki ASH, their tag team is over. Doudrop has said that she has gotten rid of the dead weight, and she wants to punch her ticket to Money in the Bank and prove that she doesn't need Nikki, and that she is worthy of being champion. So big time encounter here in our main event. This is going to be a good one. This is going to be a hoss fight, to say the least. I don't expect the winner to come away with some bruises, as these are two competitors that will bring it to the other. Doudrop, like Ciampa in the men's side of things, could be the dark horse favorite on the women's side of things, but she's got to get through big time Bex here tonight. It's our main event here in Kansas City. Becky Lynch versus Doudrop. The winner will be added to the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and we are underway. Time to kick off our main event as these two competitors lock up in the center of the ring. We've seen these two go at it before. Back at the Royal Rumble, these two did battle over the Raw Women's Championship. Becky Lynch that night was the champ, was able to beat Doudrop, but Doudrop put up a heck of a fight, probably the best we've seen Doudrop look, and unfortunately was unable to come away victorious in that encounter. Well, she has a chance to not only right that wrong, but punch her ticket to the biggest, well, I would say biggest match of her career, but a golden opportunity where if you win, you are essentially guaranteed a champion. As nobody on the women's side of things has ever unsuccessfully cashed up Money in the Bank. Not unsuccessfully, that would be a double negative, but I digress. As Doudrop has the early advantage here, stomps away on the arm of Becky Lynch. Doudrop has not won a title here in WWE, now going for a cover here, but only gets a 1 count, but continues to apply that pressure on Lynch. Doudrop's never won a championship here in WWE. Recently had her eyes on the tag division, but that partnership with Nikki ASH died out, as we've talked about multiple times tonight. So Doudrop looking to go at it again solo, as she backs up Becky Lynch, but Lynch looking to fight back here, as Lynch wants to get herself back to the mountaintop where she's been in recent times. Recently Raw Women's Champion, lost it, like I said, at WrestleMania, and has kind of lost the rematch to Bianca. So Becky kind of floating around, not really sure how she's going to get back to the top of the mountain. Well, Money in the Bank could shoot you right back in that discussion, as Becky Lynch, one of the first women to ever main event WrestleMania. She's done it all, a legendary career, But one accolade she does not have on her resume is Miss Money in the Bank. So Becky would love to add that accolade, but right now is having her hands full with Doudrop, who's put the fights to Lynch. We talked about this would be a fight. Well, Doudrop came ready, showing the fans that, hey, don't sleep on me. Lynch back to her feet, but again, Doudrop cuts her off. Knee to the midsection. More combination strikes to the midsection. And this time a nice release German. And Doudrop taking it to Becky. Becky hasn't been able to get out of the box in this matchup. More combination strikes. And this time just throws Becky across the ring. And quickly, Doudrop looks to stay on the offense, but Becky will get back to her feet, just looking to cover up almost. You can see Lynch in a very defensive state. Now gets hit with a cross-body. Doudrop putting the pressure. This to go to Money in the Bank. Gets two, but Lynch will kick out. But Becky's got to find a way back in this contest. It's been all Doudrop here in the early going as she gets Becky back to her feet, picks her up, and slams her down into the mat. Doudrop, this could be enough for the upset to go to Money in the Bank. It's two, but no, Lynch at the last second gets three. I thought that hand had come down. I think Doudrop as well thought she had the 3 count. Almost got it done against Becky. She's got to continue the offense. It's a close call, but you can't sleep on the close call. I'm going to continue to work away on Lynch's lower back. And set her up for that driver again, but Lynch back to her feet. But again, Doudrop cuts her off. She's been ready for Becky at all levels, and now just drops her over the top rope. And now a big-time splash. Lynch in massive trouble here as Doudrop continues to take it to the offense. What has Lynch got to do to get back in this contest? She's got to find a way to weather this storm, and she just gets picked up by the head and slammed to the mat. I mean, Doudrop, this is, talked about the best she's looked at Royal Rumble. This could be the best Doudrop we've seen. She might have gotten that mean streak back to her, but look at Becky here with some power drives Doudrop into the mat. That could be the opening that big time Bex needs. Trying to get back in this one, trying to fire herself up. Gets Doudrop back to her feet. An open hand slap across the face, and now from behind plants Doudrop into the mat. That could be what Becky needs. Starting to take it to Doudrop, starting to find some offense, but Doudrop again cuts her off, goes for a big time powerbomb, a sit-out powerbomb. That should be enough. Gets two, but no, Becky again kicks out at two. And her momentum just got cut short. Is now a deadlift powerbomb, another powerbomb by Doudrop. Going for it a third time. The trio connects another powerbomb to Becky. I mean, lots of trouble. If I'm Doudrop, I'm going for the pin here, but Becky's somehow trying to find a way back. A leg sweep will take Doudrop back off her feet. Now a kick to the midsection, and this time a manhandle slam. Becky somehow found the manhandle slam. Now goes for the cover, gets one, gets two, but Doudrop does kick out at two. Not sure if Becky was able to get all of that manhandle slam. I don't know where she even got the strength to pull it off, but needs to do a little bit of damage more to Doudrop. Now going to go for the disarmor. Has the disarmor in, but Doudrop too close to the ropes. Will force the rope break, but Becky has hit the manhandle slam. She's hit the disarmor. This is what big-time Bex is all about. You can't counter out until you have the 1, 2, 3. As now she's right back in this contest. Definitely in a lot of pain, but still back up on her feet. Still fighting. More strikes from behind. A knee right to the back. Now goes for the cover in on Doudrop. Gets one, gets two, and no, doesn't get three. Doudrop kicks out at 2.5, and now Becky with all the momentum trying to fire herself up. Not getting a lot of love from the WWE Universe here tonight, but I don't think Becky really cares right now. Went for a big time shot, but now Doudrop counters and goes for that big running splash again. Has the shoulders down. Ref a little slow in position though. Gets two, but no, again Becky gets 2.5. Ref a little slow. Maybe that cost Doudrop, but could be setting her up here for the big time move. Lynch, though, backs out of the way. From behind, has a hold of Doudrop. Shot to the back. Another one to the back. Now Becky again has the arm tied up. And looks to take Doudrop off her feet, but she'll power out. Create some separation. Kick to the midsection here. And now a little bit of a modified choke here. It'll pick her up and slam Lynch to the mat. Doudrop hits the ropes. Goes for the splash again, but this time Lynch rolls out of the way. Doudrop came up empty-handed. Now both competitors back to her feet. Lynch from behind. Another inverted DDT. There goes Doudrop. We just saw Ciampa get the win off of that inverted DDT. Lynch looking to do the same thing. Hits the ropes, drops a leg. Hits the ropes again. Another leg drop across the throat. Driving the air out of Doudrop, and now gets her back to her feet. Kick to the midsection, looking for another manhandle slam, and then she connects. This time gets all of it. Into the cover, gets 2, and Lynch gets the 3. What a comeback for big-time Becky Lynch as she punches her ticket to Money in the Bank. And what a big-time win for Becky. She could be the favorite going into this contest. Doudrop looked very impressive for about 2/3 of that matchup, but it was the last third, and Lynch was able to pick up the victory. But that's all we have time for tonight. This is what the fields are starting to look like. We know Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch have punched their ticket to Money in the Bank, but who will fill out the rest of that field? Meanwhile, on the men's side of things, we know it's 6 of the competitors. We know it's Theory, Ezekiel, and Ciampa now from Raw, and Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, and Jinder Mahal from SmackDown. 2 spots still open in that match. Other word around the card is beneficial. Bianca Belair versus Bayley in a submission match for the Raw Women's Championship. A year in the making finally comes out ahead at Money in the Bank. Bayley's first match back. Will she be able to take the gold off of Bianca Belair? And then also Bobby Lashley puts the WWE Championship on the line against Seth freaking Rollins, who will walk away victorious in that one. But that's all we have time for tonight as we continue to build towards the Money in the Bank. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all the support recently on this series. You guys have loved the Universe Mode. They will continue to come to you guys, and I can't wait to bring you more episodes as we continue to build towards Money in the Bank. If you enjoy it, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more Universe Mode content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.